Okay, this afternoon we have with us Dr. Herrington to speak to us as we continue our celebration of the School of Public Affairs at 40 years. And Dr. Herrington is going to talk to us a bit, introduce himself first, and tell us his story of what has happened during his tenure here at Texas Southern University within the School of Public Affairs. Dr. Herrington?
Good afternoon. Well, I arrived at Texas Southern University in 1976. As a matter of fact, the month was August. The date was the 17th. I remember that specifically as the time. I was a young graduate out of the PhD program in political science from the University of Illinois. Still quite young, still in my 20s. I've done most of my age in that TSU over the years. But I came as a young PhD student from the University of Illinois with a PhD in political science and a master's in political science. And prior to going to University of Illinois, I completed my undergraduate work at Fort Valley State in Georgia. But I came in 1976 as part of a recruitment process to build the newly formed School of Public Affairs. At that time, Dr. Walter J. McCoy was the dean, and he was recruiting faculty from around the country. And if you know anything about Walter McCoy, you know that he was recruiting people from key universities that would help him build the School of Public Affairs, and faculty that would come from the universities that were known for producing scholars in the area of political science and public administration. So I came as a part of that cadre in the area of political science. Others came in public administration. If I recall, Anna Madison was a young graduate out of USC. USC being one of the more established programs in public administration. She came in the area of public affairs. Later, Eugene Herrington joined us from Syracuse, the Maxwell School. So if you know anything about public administration, Dr. McCoy had achieved quite a feat by recruiting two young, outstanding faculty members from the best countries and the best universities in the country, from Syracuse and USC. And of course, he was from Pittsburgh, so he had the big three: University of Pittsburgh, the University of Syracuse, and USC. So I represented the political science side of the equation that he was trying to build on, and I joined the political science faculty. Later, others would come. I think you've spoken to Dr. Franklin Jones. He came as a part of that group the following year. Dr. Jones came from a university that was making quite a record and becoming the place to come from if you wanted to do anything in like political science. So at that point, you can see that the recruitment effort was well underway to bring a faculty group to the School of Public Affairs that would be from some of the best universities in the country for what Dr. McCoy was trying to do in terms of the objectives of building a very strong School of Public Affairs.
Well, explain to me, so you arrived in '76, and upon your arrival, can you tell us a little bit about what was going on within the university, within the school, and how you all began to grow? So give me a little bit about what happened over those next, 5 or so years.
Well, at the point of my arrival, the university was under the leadership of Dr. Granville Sawyer, And Dr. Sawyer was projecting the university in the area of international affairs and urban programming. Those were the two major emphases the university was pursuing in terms of his vision. And the School of Public Affairs was going to be the pivot around which the urban programming kinds of interests would be centered around, I would say, as well as you might say some of the kinds of things that he was interested in terms of international affairs. So the university was very much, I guess, looking at academic programming from those two perspectives at that time.
Okay. And so during that period, I understand that there was some programming and various lectures that were going on. Can you tell me some of the milestones within that first 5-year period that you were here?
Yes, in terms of the kind of, I guess, academic programming that was centered around scholarship, there were a lot of activities related to research in terms of urban-based research, things that were related to community development, housing, transportation. Those kinds of projects were underway, as well as bringing in the best scholars in the country, particularly in the area of public administration. The School of Public Affairs was the place that you would come if you wanted to hear a great lecturer. People of such notoriety as Herbert Simon, later to be a noble, I guess you might say one of the people who we recognize internationally for his work in decision making. Dwight Waldo, some people may consider Dwight Waldo as, I guess you might say, the second father of public administration on the academic side to follow Wilson too. And you had Alvin Campbell, who would later lead the LBJ school, as well as become the first director of OMP, Office of Personnel Management, I should say. So Adam Herbert was here, Andrew Bremer, who was on the Federal Reserve Board, a person who was very well known for his economic work. So it was a leading place, bar none. We were the center, if you wanted to see the greats in the area of public policy and public administration.
Great. So that really brings us up to the 80s, and my understanding is that in 81 there was an appointment of a new dean. Dr. Charles Anderson was appointed in early 81. Tell me about what happened during that next decade.
The way I see the 80s is a period of transformation in a sense, and it somewhat dovetailed what was perhaps going on with some of the discussions related to public administration. There was major academic question about public administration as public administration, and whether or not there should be some kind of separation between public administration and private administration, and we should just see administration as administration. And in the context of that study, that academic kind of debate, the university changed leadership. Dr. Spearman came in the 80s, and he brought that kind of debate full center to the university, where he reorganized the university. And in reorganizing the university, what he did was was to merge two schools, a school of business and what was the School of Public Affairs, with the idea that management is management and administration is administration. And with that merger, a school of management was created. So the programs that were a part of the School of Public Affairs became more or less a department in a school of management. That was the major activity of the 80s, in a sense, in terms of what happened to the School of Public Affairs.
And so during that time of this reorg, basically moves from a school down to a department within a school, what were some of the actions, activities that were going on within that department at that time?
Within the school, within the Department of Public Affairs. Within the Department of Public Affairs, you had several degree programs. You had a degree program in political science, degree program in public affairs, and then you had public affairs with what you might call emphasis areas. Emphasis area in administration of justice, one in housing management, one in health administration, one in environmental science, and one in public service. So you have those emphasis areas in the public affairs area, as well as you had two graduate degree programs, one in city planning, the other in public administration. That's the way the department was organized. You can see with all those degree programs in one department that that was quite a feat to manage. So it was, you can imagine too that there was a great deal of tension in terms of what was being done to hold those departments together. So we saw an effort on the part of different leaders to forge some kind of parliamentary activity around various kinds of things, but none of them quite, I guess, worked out in terms of being I might say a department that was focused on one theme. So what happened is that those various units tended to focus on what they were about rather than some kind of unity.
Now, was this during the time when you were the chair of the department, or?
Well, there was a time when I was program director of public administration, for the master's program, and later, I would say during the 80s, you were talking about during the 80s, so just program director of the master's program in public administration. That was where I spent most of my time, and I was interested in building that program. And I might say is that during that time, director of the program, following Lee McGriggs, that we probably had the largest public administration program in the area, if not in the state of Texas. We were known for producing minorities in public administration. Several of those who left our program became key leaders in the area of the public sector, heads of departments in the city of Houston, the county, Harris County,